Hello. I need this thing to load up. Hey, how are you? How are you? Me. Oh, that's good. I'm glad you're doing all right. I missed you. Oh, what the heck did I click? Okay, so I'll be in there. Let me just make sure I got my volume turned up so people can hear you guys. Oh, nothing really. I'm trying to think. What did you miss? I don't know. You really didn't miss too much. Let me see. I think yes, you were there for the split when we split the discords up. Other than that, I can't really think of anything. Nothing else really happened. So, yeah, you really didn't miss much. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna get this officially started in 2 minutes. Oh, yay, good. We miss you. We really miss you. Hello. Let me see. Okay, so let me see. Wait, I always gotta just live chat. There we go. Okay, there we go. I always have to switch the settings, and what the heck? Okay. Okay, I think I'm good. Hi, Carter. How are you? I'm gonna get started here in just 1 minute. Just making sure I got everything set up. Let me actually just go into a random voice chat. Hey, Perceiver, how are you? Let me just go into a voice chat in another chat before I get started, just so I can see if everything's working on my end, because sometimes it doesn't like to. So I'm just going to check this out really quick, and then we'll get on with the show. And I'm doing good. Doing good. Okay, so I can hear my voice where, well, actually, that doesn't sound right. No, I can see my little thing. It shows I'm talking. Nothing bad happened, so let's just hope it stays that way throughout the show. I interview these people. All right, so hi guys, welcome to Cryptocast, your source for all things crypto-related, unknown, and paranormal. I'm your host Parker, and today we're having a special episode. I'm going to be interviewing some people from my Discord who have offered to share their stories with me and their experiences about the cryptids and paranormal. So we're going to be interviewing a couple people. I have some people lined up. Some people who chose not to actually be on the show and talk. I'm going to be reading some of their stories. So I'll probably do those ones kind of closer to the end just so I can interview the people just in case they have somewhere else to be, and then I can just read the other stories. And if we have time, I will be talking about some of my experiences myself. So this is a good stream. I'm really kind of looking forward to this. Talking to people, good way to kind of reach out to you guys. If you guys haven't seen my newest cryptid rating video on Jeff the Talking Mongoose, I uploaded that last night. Be sure to check that out. It's a weird kind of tale from the Isle of Man about a talking mongoose named Jeff, who claims he was a nature spirit, but people believe that he was a hoax. So I am kind of digging into this a bit and rating it. So be sure to check that video out if you haven't already. Also, if you guys have any other stream suggestions for me, like what I can do, I might be doing. I know one of my friends gave me some stream suggestions. I just didn't jot them down. I'll have to. I'll have to talk to them about it because they gave me some suggestions. The one that I really remember is shadow people. If you guys want like a stream about like shadow people, like from different cultures, different folklores and everything, there's some Native American shadow people and just shadow people in general. I can definitely do a stream on shadow people. And just if you have any other stream suggestions, just let me know. I really need somebody possibly to help me figure out stream suggestions, like actually like keep everything in order, like or perhaps make a schedule. I used to have somebody who made a schedule, like a stream schedule for me, but I don't know, that hasn't really been happening a lot lately for like a monthly stream schedule. I'm going to be doing a St. Patrick's Day special too about like Celtic folklore and everything. So we're going to be doing that here. But with all that being said, just let me know if you have suggestions. I'd really appreciate it. And Jesus, I have my hair in my face. I love it, but I don't know if I need a haircut. Um, Let me just. One of my people just said they can't make it, so I'm just seeing if there's like an alternative. Okay, so one of my people can't make it out tonight because they're sick, so I just try to work on an alternative, but I'll see what they say, but I am going to, I guess, start the interviews here in just a second. They're typing. I just want to make sure everything's all good on their end. If they want to actually type it out, if they don't, um, and hey, I mean, like, if worst comes to worst, if like I do like have a lot of time left, I'm just gonna find some experiences online that people have had, and I will be talking about those as well. So we're gonna be, so this is gonna be a fun night. I'm gonna make this a fun night, guys, regardless of the circumstances about some people not being able to make it. We're gonna make this a good night. It's gonna be fun. So I'm keeping somebody actually waiting in one of my voice chats. I feel bad for that. So I talked long enough, kind of rambled on about my shit that I'm gonna be doing and want to do in the future. Did my intro. So let me just see, because I'll be doing this again in the future. Okay, so yeah, I'll be doing this again in the future too, so I can always fit the people that miss it, who wanted to do it that missed it today. I can always fit them in another day when I do this again in the future. Probably like when the Discord server and my fan base grows a bit more, I'll definitely be doing that again. So without further ado, um, hold on, let me just ask. Let me just ask really quick. I need to hold on. I forgot to do something really important before we start these. Um, Okay, hey, Carter, if you're still here in the chat, check. Okay, you're checking. You're checking. Okay, that's good. I just wanted to make sure with you. Okay, so yeah, just wanted to make sure. So, just so I don't mess any names up. But yes, we got one person waiting. So let's start off this interview. Let me go into Cryptid Talk in my Discord. Hello, can you hear me at all? Oh, come on. It's not detecting any in what? Hello? Let me see.
Yep.
Okay, there
Yeah,
we
I can hear you.
I
You're
can
coming in.
I can hear you now too. Okay, Discord was acting weird. It usually does. So how are you today?
Yeah, I'm good, Parker. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, anytime. Guys watching the stream right now, let me know if you can hear him okay, or I need to turn my volume up. Just let me know while we're talking. So, what experiences have you had? Have you had like paranormal? Have you had cryptid experiences, or have you had both? Or
No, I haven't in my life. I haven't had very many
hmm
experiences that I would consider paranormal. I haven't witnessed cryptid or like Bigfoot
right,
or these various creatures that people say they have witnessed.
right.
But I've been researching these things, and as when I began to really start digging into things, I started coming across a bunch of different things that started linking together,
Hmm.
and I've found that some of these may be what some people call synchronicities,
Yeah, yeah.
but I've also, with my research, I've been listening to people who
Hmm.
have had experiences. I've been researching all of this stuff. And so I've really gotten a pretty deep insight into this paranormal area. And I definitely think I would
Hmm.
be able to identify it. And the thing I've had is I've talked to people who have had experiences. I've researched people who have had experiences. And
Hmm.
so I'm actually quite knowledgeable. And I'm willing to go out and investigate, but I have had these synchronicities, and I wonder if have you experienced any synchronicities? And I'd
Hmm.
also like to know some of your experiences, and
Yeah, of course.
so if we could share knowledge with each other,
Sure.
that would be great.
Sure.
I would enjoy to do that.
So I guess let's kind of
Um,
get started off first.
yeah.
Like, what kind of synchronicities have you noticed?
Well, it really starts out where you'll start researching something, and then all
Hmm.
of a sudden it'll pop up like out of nowhere,
Right.
and it's like, oh, I was just looking into that. Like, and it's in places where
Hmm.
it doesn't really make sense. For instance,
Hmm.
I read this book. It's called "Be Wise as Serpents" by Fritz Springmeier,
Okay.
and in that book, it mentions this organization called Transcendental Meditation.
Hmm.
And I didn't think anything of it when I had read it, but all of a sudden later on, somebody else asked for one of my books on my bookshelf that which I have not touched, and as they read it, they ended up becoming a member of Transcendental Meditation
Huh.
because they learned about it through this book, which I had no idea it was. So stuff like
Hmm.
that
So what?
pops up all the time when with this stuff.
Right. So what is transcendental meditation?
Well, and I'm not a member of this. I didn't really think anything of it, but it was, or it is, an organization which was founded by a guru, a
Hmm.
Hindu named Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, or at least that's the name he went by,
Okay.
and he started the Maharishi University,
Hmm.
and it's basically an organization where it's an initiate body
Hmm.
where people pay to become an initiate and to learn
Hmm.
meditation. They
Right.
learn this technique. They can advance in the go to these different meetings and stuff like that.
Hmm.
But it's basically Maharishi is a new ager, and it's
Oh, okay.
part of a network of a bunch of other new age groups.
So it's a new kind of religion then.
Well, I don't think they'd want to call themselves religious, but I do think that they are based off the Hindu religion, and that's where I think their technique and a lot of their information derives from.
Right. Now, is there anything like sinister about it, or is it just pretty chill for the most part?
Well, I've been digging into it a little bit now because I've been reading another book by the same author, and he started talking about transcendental meditation, and he that not only is it linked to all these other groups, but the commonality is this some kind of cranial manipulation.
Hmm.
Manipulation to the head, and it's there's been witnesses who have said they've been subjected to mind control.
Hmm.
So I've just now started digging into that.
Hmm. I mean, if it is kind of like mind control, do you think it could be sort of like what the US government did with MK Ultra in a way, or is it do you think it's different?
I do think there could be a commonality in there. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if MK Ultra involved cranial manipulation, but I'm sure there was something that
Right.
could be a similar in between them. Yes.
Because I know for MK Ultra, the government they sort of dosed up people on like LSD and different hallucinogenics and tried
Yeah.
to control them for the most part.
Yes, that is what they did, and they learned how to use suggestibility. They
Right.
learned through the Nazis.
Hmm.
The Nazis learned how to program people.
Hmm. Right.
Before that, it was trained
Mhm.
mind control.
Somebody in the live
The
chat mentioned
mystery
something.
religions.
Oh, somebody in the live chat mentioned something called Project Monarch.
Yes, Project Monarch. That ties into all this mind control as well,
Hmm.
and it's quite controversial, like a lot of this stuff.
Right.
But it deals with multiple personality disorder, and it basically what
Hmm.
Monarch programming is all the forms of mind control that you know of,
Mm-hmm.
plus some, all combined into one program where you can make somebody basically a slave
Right.
by split. And the essential key here is trauma in
Mm-hmm.
order to cause a multiple personality disorder to program the different personalities.
Right.
And it also involves all the different kinds of mind control, like hypnotism and
Mm-hmm.
subliminal messages, or there's they use LSD as well as a
Right. Yeah.
foundational programming. And I think this ties into MK Ultra because of the LSD, and it's done to kids. They
Oh, wow.
program the programmers. Yes, the programmers, when they program certain particular people, they can program adults as well, and they like a particular kind of adult.
Hmm.
You have to have a particular kind of person to have multiple personality, to
Exactly.
have the ability to split personalities. But anyways, the children, um, if you know anything about Disney, uh,
Yes. I've heard
well,
I've heard all of like
Disney
conspiracy
was used a
theories.
lot in
Yeah.
this program.
Yeah, I heard like I've watched
Yeah,
them
and
all
well,
those stories.
there's a Disney film called Fantasia,
That's
and
right.
this was used
Hmm.
reportedly, from what I've been reading, is that this film was particularly used for mind control programming,
Mm-hmm.
and it was used in conjunction with LSD, and where kids would be forced to watch it, with their eyes like forced open, and they would also put kids in sensory deprivation tanks,
Oh, wow.
and they would train them in visualization
Hmm.
and like astral projection, that
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
stuff. But yeah, and I'm sorry to kind of break the topic here, but I'd really like
No, you're
to
fine.
focus in on this paranormal occult thing, and I'd
Yeah.
like to talk to some of your other guests that you may have coming on.
Yeah, that would be cool. Let me just actually at everyone to see if they want to come in. But um, I guess while we're waiting for people, have you ever heard of the missing 411 cases?
The missing what?
The missing 411 cases, like the disappearances in the national park, they all kind of have like a certain commonality.
Um, I don't believe I'm familiar with this, but the disappearances I have been researching, but these occurred at national parks.
Yes. So some people go missing at national parks, and this has all started happening since like the 1800s, and mostly kids share the exact same encounter. It's been going on since like 1800s, so 200 years. They all report that like when they go missing in the woods, that they're like a bear-like creature kind of picks them up, holds them, and like a wolf creature walks on its hind legs and gives them berries from its paws. And all the reports of the missing children, they all, the ones that make it out alive, they all have that like somewhat commonality there, that these animal like creatures.
That's really interesting that you're saying that, because that's a lot of when I've been researching where kids have been victims. They're able to describe things that they wouldn't be able to just make up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And what you're talking about seems like werewolves, possibly,
Yeah.
or Bigfoot types. That's really interesting. I need to look into that.
It's, I mean, and all these kids, they're just sharing the exact same like experience too, and these are like young kids, so they have to describe it like the best way they can. So they just like, oh, the bear took care of me, and the wolf, he gave me food. He wouldn't let me leave until he told me it was time for me to go.
Yeah, that'd be something where we'd want to look into these children and their experiences, because I've also in researching mind control, I've found that people who claim to have been abducted by aliens, or who have had experiences with aliens, or stuff like that, kind of abduction experiences, or where they've been implanted and stuff like that,
Right.
they've showed signs that they were actually under mind control.
Yeah.
And then there's also a tie-in with demons and
Right.
area, but it all ties in. It's pretty crazy.
And like all the people who are like a good like I'd say like 80% of the people who claim being abducted and visited by aliens, they all claim that they have time loss and they don't know where that missing time went.
Yeah, that could easily be programmed via the mind control programming.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a particular type of programming that deals with like alien programming, and it even ties into where these programmers can make people, or they can make people see like an alien,
Right.
or
Yeah.
it could actually be humans. But some people are saying these gray aliens are demons, or they're manufactured in deep underground military bases.
Yeah,
But
I've heard those
I
theories.
haven't personally, I haven't really had any personal experiences with this, so I can't really say.
Yeah, same here, but I mean I have heard people say that before. Like I usually get like a lot of religious people saying that like all aliens are demons in one way or another, and they explain why. And I just get like so many different explanations for them. Like people are like, "Oh yes, they're definitely not of this earth. They're not demons, but they're just other creations, other creatures that live out in space." And then these other religious groups are like, "Oh no, those things are definitely demons." So I guess I don't know
See,
if it's like personal opinion or something, or if it's just like I don't know.
well, I consider myself a Christian and a follower of the teachings of Christ
Right.
and the Word of God. And my view, and this is because of my Christian angle, is that um, by definition, I would believe in aliens, but I wouldn't believe it like flying saucers and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Which there could be some of that, I don't know. But here's what I believe: I do believe that the sons of God were the fallen angels, and they came down to the earth with Satan, who was Lucifer. That was his original estate. And so, that being said, I have to believe in angels, and that
Mm-hmm.
means these angels came from the sky. They came
Right.
down to the earth, and they actually came here onto this planet. And the story is that they actually were able to sexually reproduce with the women on
Right.
this earth, and they created like these hybrid giants
Oh,
called the Rephaim giants.
yeah. I also heard him called
Well,
like
here's the
Nephilim
thing:
as well too. The
the
Nephilim.
Neph.
Yeah.
My take on the Nephilim is that the Nephilim are the fallen angels,
Okay.
not necessarily the giants or these different tribes. I believe that the demons are the disembodied spirits of the Rephaim giants.
Okay.
That's what my take is on it right now.
Mhm.
And because the fallen angels, they're immortal, but the Rephaim giants are half angel, half human.
Right. So,
So that's kind of
yeah.
my take on it.
Mm-hmm. And usually, like, if you're half, like, let's just say, like, let's say you can live forever, and then, like, you're somebody who can live forever, and then you, like, mate with somebody who's mortal or something. That human side or that animal side or whatever side it is that's mortal is gonna die, but then your immortal
Right, and
half is gonna live on.
that would be the physical body. That's a really
Right.
good point because angels would be in the spiritual realm.
Mm-hmm.
Now humans, they also partake of the spiritual realm and the material world.
Mm-hmm.
However, they're we're not, our parents aren't fallen angels. Or,
Right.
dad isn't a fallen angel.
Right.
And they create, but the whole point is that they created a bloodline, and they were these hybrids, and they seem to be highly advanced. And it does appear that I think that the angels fell before Adam was created. Now I'm still kind of
Mm-hmm.
looking into this, but it appears that
Mm-hmm.
if this is so, if Lucifer disobeyed God and lied to the other angels and convinced them to come down to Earth, that it would possibly mean that there was a pre-Adamic civilization
Right.
or
So
angelic
yeah.
civilization that was before Adam.
So
Now, I mean, I'm still trying to look into this, and so they're all mysteries. And
yeah.
it's kind of funny because all this stuff goes back to the mystery religions, the mystery schools, the mystery rites, or
Yeah.
they're just called the mysteries.
Mm-hmm.
And this is all ancient old stuff. I mean, werewolves go way back. I mean, the Romans had their own word for
Oh, that was like
werewolf. This
Lycan.
stuff goes way back, and it's
Yeah.
universal.
Like one of the kings in like Greece or
It's like
Rome. Yeah, like
the
oh, cynocephaly. The dog people.
Yeah, and that's the other piece is that if these fallen angels are able, or they were able to take the form
The furries.
of any given species, which would make them sexually compatible
Right.
with whatever species they could they could whatever for some reason when they interbreed with they create like these hybrids and these like some
Mm-hmm.
people say like they're responsible for the dinosaurs, but
Mm-hmm. Now I know you mentioned the fall as well, like this, like the angels and like the devil, like saying, "Hey, angels, come down to earth. Don't follow God and everything." So for me, like I was raised Catholic, and um, from what I know is in the Garden of Eden, the devil in the form of a snake, he told Adam and Eve to eat the fruit. So in retrospect, that would mean that the fall of the angels had to have happened before Adam and Eve were created.
that's interesting that you were taught that in a Catholic church.
Yeah.
But I do believe I think that this stuff I think that the Bible is one of the most important books in the world,
Mhm.
especially if you're trying to understand this stuff.
Right. And kind of the thing about like like UFOs and like aliens and stuff. So when I was younger, I haven't seen it in a while because I think my dad got canceled a cable package, so we don't have History Channel anymore. But I used to watch that show, Ancient Aliens, even though it's kind of a odd show. I did enjoy it back as a kid, but
Yeah.
they did make some kind
I
of
used to watch it too.
yeah, they did make some like good points, like all these like other cultures from around the world. They have like I think like in India they have like these gods that are like flying across the sky in like metal vehicles that shoot like fire and destruction and
Yep.
cause like wars in the sky. So I mean
Yeah,
everybody kind of had,
The Vedas apparently even described a flying mechanism or some kind
right.
of plane or of some
Hmm.
sort.
And then like too in like that
I think
ancient
that
oh go ahead. Go ahead.
I think that the gods that the polytheists of the Greeks, all these other people, all
Right.
these people that are polytheists. Now, it is believed that the polytheism is an exoteric doctrine,
Hmm.
and the esoteric doctrine is that there's only one God, as monotheism. However,
Right.
it does appear to me that these gods of the Greeks and Romans were actually fallen angels, and
Hmm.
that demigods were these Rephaim, these other tribes. It would have been.
Hmm.
It does appear that it would line up like that.
Yeah, so
And
like
there's
the
a bunch of other names
right. So like
as well.
for example, Perseus, he was half in ancient Greece, he was half god, half human, so he would so like if we're going by what you're saying, he would be like one of those hybrid creatures.
Right. That is what. Now I'm still trying to research all of this, but that is the angle
Hmm.
that I'm taking on this
Right.
stuff right now. Yes.
Hmm. So and then like but it's kind of weird that like all these ancient religions, they all had like their own gods, but each of them kind of had like their own different role that matched the other roles of ancient gods. Like for ancient Egypt and ancient Greece, Set matched, which was the god of chaos, destruction, in the underworld, matched the role of Hades in Greek mythology, who was the god of the same thing. And then there was like the king of the gods, which was Horus, and then Zeus, and they all kind of intertwined a bit. So I don't, and but they were all depicted very differently. Like the ancient Egyptians gods, they had
Right.
the heads of animals, and then like the ancient Greek gods, they were just looked like humans.
Right. That is an interesting idea because all of this ties
Mhm.
into religion,
Right.
but it also ties into mythology, and there is a distinction between the two,
There
from what I
is, yeah.
understand. However, the all of the stuff is symbolic. I
Right.
mean, this all the the Egyptian hieroglyphs. That's symbolism. The symbolism, according to
Hi,
Manly
Haley.
P. Hall, is the language of the mysteries. It's the language of nature. It's the language of mysticism.
Hmm.
So, symbolism is absolutely crucial.
Right. So and to like Christianity, like from what I grew up in Catholicism, like we learned that God was perfect, like he can do no wrong. And then looking back at like all the ancient gods of these ancient societies and ancient cultures, they were flawed people. Like they made mistakes and everything too, which means that I mean they were still considered divine, but they made mistakes.
Right. That could also kind of echo their fallen nature as well.
Right. But
If you go by the whole fallen angel thing, but that doesn't mean someone who's fallen can't do righteous things. I mean, there was some pagan king that was called righteous in the Bible. So I mean, God is all about turning evil into good, and all things can
mhm,
work together for good. So that's why I also like the Bible, and I hold it as a supreme book
mhm,
because it brings us hope, and
right.
in the face of all of this stuff, because it really does appear that the people that are running the world, or the people at the top, they're all into this stuff.
Yeah. Sorry if you hear that. The phone just started ringing, my house phone. So sorry if you hear the phone ringing. But um yeah, it seems like I remember back during the Great Schism, the church and state became separate. Yet, like here in America, like we still do like the Pledge of Allegiance, like one nation under God. The president, when they get elected, they still take an oath on the Bible and everything. So there is still some religious aspect still present in politics today in the world as we know it.
Yes, yes, and some people say that atheism, it can be a front for Luciferianism, and Luciferianism is Gnosticism. But that argument, I need to kind of poke around at that argument a little more to be able to explain it. However, I mean, these people that are in our government right now, a lot of them have been sworn in without the Bible or on other books. So these people technically would be considered foreign agents. Now, we're kind of really digressing right now.
Right.
But, I mean, a lot of these people, I mean, way back then, I mean, in the beginning of the history of the United States of America, I mean, most of the politicians, anybody that was somebody, were members of the Freemasons or some kind of
Right.
secret society or fraternity,
I believe,
stuff like that.
like I believe I'm taking a U.S. history class in college right now, and I believe that my teacher mentioned at one point that even George Washington himself was a Freemason.
Yes, he was, and in fact, he was a descendant of, I believe it was one of the European royals. I think it was King Edward the First. So he was of royal blood.
Right. So it's just kind of crazy too. All these different people in the past, like pretty much like it started off as colonies and everything. Like all these people coming to the U.S. having different colonies, to like spread the British Empire. And then eventually they wanted their own religious freedom. So then the whole Revolutionary War happened, and then we became our own nation.
Right.
So I mean, yeah.
About that, the whole time, I mean, you had I mean, most of the people who are somebody or written about in history, I mean, they're part of these different groups. I mean, Benjamin Franklin was, not only was he a Freemason, but he was like a head of the Rosicrucians. He was a member of the Hellfire Club.
Right.
I mean, you had over there in the year in 1776, we had the controversial. I mean, everybody knows the Bavarian Illuminati.
Oh yeah. So like
that goes all the way back.
So
to
for all my viewers watching, the Illuminati at one point was real, but it wasn't like what the world saw today. It was like a group for religious enlightenment, and then one of the kings, I forgot which king it was, found out about it and told him, "Hey guys, you need to split up. This is going against what I'm being a king about." So it was real at one point.
Adam Weishaupt said that if the order was destroyed, he'd be able to rebuild it even better. And there were many other, by definition, if we don't just look at what the popular culture of the Illuminati is today, if we take the definition of the word Illuminati and we go analyze throughout history, we can see that the Illuminati has been with us, I mean, since the beginning of humanity, because the Illuminati, by definition, goes back to the ancient mysteries of antiquity. There's evidence that every primitive people had knowledge of these mysteries, or they had their own secret knowledge, or their own initiatory bodies. I mean, this all goes back to antiquity, to the origins of humanity.
Right.
And the Illuminati is not what most people think of it, but if you just take the word, I mean, the Illuminati, it's a noun, it's a word, but if you just analyze throughout history, you'll see there have been many way before 1776 and after that would fit under the definition of an Illuminati. But the question is the people who are at the top of these various organizations, they're always involved in like revolutions and all these different, all with having secret knowledge and, very powerful and enlightened.
Like people suspect that the Bilderberg group is somehow connected to the Illuminati trying to build a new world order and everything.
Yes, people do believe that. And I've analyzed this in depth. And I mean, can't really tell. I cannot say if there's a single Illuminati running the whole entire world. I don't think that's the case.
Right.
I think there could very well be multiple factions of very powerful people who rub shoulders, and I do think that and they could even have a. I do think that if you call that entire structure of these different factions the Illuminati, I mean the mother,
Right.
it would be made up of multiple groups and different factions, and it's definitely not what people. I mean, I could tell you right now, all these celebrities, they're not running the show.
No. Like
but the people who are in Bilderberg are. I mean,
right. So let me ask you 2 questions here about this. So one, let's try to debunk this one theory or try to prove if it's real or not. What is your opinion? Like all these people, saying that, oh no, like the Queen of England's like a lizard person, and like all these people controlling the government, they're lizard people. What's your opinion on that?
Personally, I don't think that they're shape-shifting reptilians.
I don't either.
However, I mean, there have been witnesses who say they have, seen shapeshifters or have seen even Satan himself as a shape-shifting reptilian, able to go from a handsome man to this freaking monster winged reptilian thing. Mm-hmm. Now, I didn't witness that. No, but apparently these other people did. But you do, like I said, these bloodlines. She is of the Merovingian bloodline. If you believe that the Merovingians survived,
right?
If they, what is it, Sigisbert the Fourth or something, Sig the Sixth. Mm-hmm. But I don't think that they're shape-shifting reptilians. Right. But if you take into consideration Satan is a fallen angel, and I mean, there's something to it.
And then like something else
some kind of possession going on.
Like some people, like you said that these creatures, they were associated kind of with like evil, like the reptilian shape-shifting creatures, so they could kind of be like spreading like rumors and stuff too, to kind of like just make people kind of like afraid of them for the most part. Like, oh, I just saw the queen shape-shift into a lizard person, just everybody stay away from her.
Right, and it could very well be disinformation as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then like all these things that I see like on TV with like the people like shape-shifting a little bit into different reptiles and everything, like a lot of those can be kind of written off as camera glitches.
Yeah, but I'm always open to look into this stuff.
I am too.
Never know. I mean, go back. There's so many theories, and if you really take an objective approach, and even to the paranormal, the occult, all this stuff. I mean, it's tough to find the truth.
Right.
And I'm a lover of the truth, and I want to find the truth, but sometimes we just don't have it.
Right.
We have information, but we don't really know. We don't know for sure if it's the truth.
Right.
But we still have information we can look into.
It's sort of like people, like rumors spread like really fast, kind of like those old like chain letter emails that we used to get back in the day, like as kids, like forward this to like send this email to 4 different friends, or like die in 4 days. Sort of like the same thing with like real knowledge, fake knowledge. It's all just kind of got spread out so much, kind of mixed together. It's just kind of hard to be like, okay, this is solid fact, and then over here, this is solid fiction. We don't know what's the truth or not.
Right. And we're making full circle here because my synchronicity experiences often happen with stuff that I would consider, outlandish or something that I wouldn't believe in, but then all of a sudden something pops up confirming it. Stuff like that. That's another type of synchronicity that I run into. And I can give an example. Where, I started researching these bloodlines and the occult, and the occult narrative of lines start with the fallen angels, and then
right.
I even on to the modern European royalty and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Reading, I started reading books. I read a book called Bloodlines of the Illuminati.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, I learn about some other thing, like the Dutroux affair, for example. I learned about the Dutroux affair, and I was like, well, why is this so important to people trying to research this stuff? And so I started researching, and sure enough, I start finding that some of the stuff I already started researching was popping up in this other place where I didn't really expect to run across that. I mean, now there were I was directed towards the Dutroux affair and certain angles of it, but it ends up tying back to the stuff I already was researching. And when that happens, I'm just shocked, honestly, because some of the stuff I don't want to believe, some of the stuff I don't want to be true.
Right.
But when stuff like that happens, I mean,
like, you don't know, like, some stuff, like, but like we said too, like, some information can be spread out, falsified, and just changed a bit, so we still have no idea. This is true, this is fake, we don't know.
and somebody in the chat on YouTube was theories to the Illuminati, and all of this stuff ties together. I mean, throughout history, these Illuminati, these various people, definition, they've been all these different scientists and stuff. Really amazing when you try to take in the open. Give an example of how the Bavarian Illuminati wasn't the only that popped up and into all of this. It's crazy because just back to ancient times, you had the mysteries, you had the Bacchic mysteries, the mysteries of Dionysus, the Druid.
Yes.
All of this stuff. You had the Orphic mysteries.
Mm-hmm.
The Brahmins, and that even goes back to the Vedas and the Aryans. And the Aryans, all these different religious organizations, Zoroastrians. You had, Babylon. This is the center of all this stuff.
Oh yeah, Babylon was
Solomon.
Yeah, King Solomon.
Yeah, King Solomon built the temple, and apparently he used like demons or something.
Mm-hmm. I've heard
also
about that.
Involved as well.
And then the story of like the Tower of Babel too. Like they built this tower to try to get to heaven, and then from what I remember, God knocked the tower down and then made everybody have different languages, and that's like the story about like how allegedly we all speak differently.
Well, the key there is that was after the flood. That was after the fallen angels mated with the women and created these.
Okay.
Hybrids. They created civilizations, and then all of a sudden they just started just sinning. I mean, uncontrollably.
Right.
It was so horrible. God regretted what he did, and so he had to kill all these freaking giants. Mm-hmm. And so that's what he did. And then Noah survives, and sure enough, one of Noah's descendants, Nimrod, decided, hey, I want to create a one-world government, a one-world religion, a one-world system. Started doing it, and this was done in rebellion to God, because God knew that if there was a system like that created, that the power that would manifest would be misused.
Mm-hmm.
God is a nationalist in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he did what he did. But Nimrod created one of the original mystery systems. He created a trinity. And this also ties into his wife, or his legendary wife, Semiramis, and then the son, Tammuz. And these different people they had mystery rites. There were mysteries of Tammuz, mysteries of Nimrod, and I mean, he created a mystery. Was that it merged the power of the church and state,
right?
And and then you had all these bloodlines as well that were tying in. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, when you get really start appreciating all this occult. I really got into this because I started researching the whole cryptids, the what's that, SCP, creepypastas, all that stuff. I started digging it.
But the thing you gotta know about SCP
is
that the SCP is just like a little video game franchise thing.
Yeah, I used to play it.
It's
man.
a good.
Play the Slenderman game.
Yeah, I did too. Oh, like back in my freshman year of high school, those were like the only games I played on the school's computer. I loved them. And then
those are the days, right?
And then I was gonna ask you too. What do you think? What do you think about the Denver airport? They have like all those pictures of like the, like New World Order kind of like gargoyles hanging everywhere. The giant like horse known as Lucifer. What's your opinion on that? Because there's a lot of like Illuminati, New World Order conspiracy theories behind that.
Yeah. There's whoever painted. Now I haven't really dug into this super in depth, but whoever painted those murals, they definitely had some kind of whoever planned it out or whatever had some kind of insider knowledge.
Right.
And I do believe that there's underground facilities under the Denver airport, and in Colorado itself is a major state that has a bunch of these deep underground military bases, and it's right next to New Mexico,
right?
Which is where you have Albuquerque, and you have all these other places.
You got Roswell,
the famous Area 51. Yeah, Roswell, and then you've got what's the other place? Texas that links in there as well.
Yeah, and Texas has
Nevada's over there.
Yeah, like the entire south, like the entire like southern Southwest. They have like the legend of the Chupacabra down there and everything too, and all these different creatures.
Yeah, but I got into all this stuff really because I wanted to research the Illuminati.
Right.
I began just like anybody else. I didn't really think. I thought it was just some, Jay-Z or Paris Hilton or
Michael Jackson, all those people.
Yeah. But then when I started researching, the first thing I hit was the Bavarian Illuminati. So I'm like, okay, this is 1776. But what about before that? Well, you learn, if you dig a little deeper, you find out about the Alumbrados, which was in Spain, and by 1520 is the date they give. But what about between that? Well, what about
right?
This Illuminati's been around for so long. What about the other groups?
Mm-hmm.
And I began to research, and slowly but surely, I began to develop a picture in my head. And this was all developed outside of school. Here's another story of my synchronicity. Just as I began to research, and I was reading books in middle school. I was 1984.
Oh, by George Orwell, right?
And Brave New World, all in middle school. George Orwell and Aldous Huxley.
Yeah, my English class. We're gonna start reading that book soon. So I have the book. I'll have to check it out.
It's actually a really great read. It's got so many important pieces because it ties in. Because George Orwell, also known as Eric Blair, Fabian socialist, I think, or that was Aldous Huxley? No, I think that was Eric Blair. He was a Fabian socialist. He's part of the Fabian Society, which is one of these
Oh, hold on, just 1 second. Somebody just said it lagged, so it just so they missed what the book was. It is 1984 by George Orwell. Okay.
Yep, 1984 by George Orwell.
Yeah.
He's also got Animal Farm.
Yeah. Well. So 1984 by George Orwell.
We can keep going back to this paranormal stuff. I mean, you had Sir John Dee,
right,
who was the court wizard of Queen Elizabeth I, and what is he known for? Summoning demons, demonology, Enochian magic. I mean, all tying together. And here's another piece: is Bigfoot, UFOs, gray aliens, underground military bases, Men in Black. I mean, all of this stuff ties together.
Black-eyed children too, I guess.
So.
Oh, black-eyed children too, I guess then.
Oh yeah, I mean all that. It's freaking. Who knows? Who knows? All of this stuff gets so crazy. I mean, it's just a lot of it is unbelievable, and we're not going to know until we really get to the bottom of this. And that's why we need people like you. You know, this is great. You're doing videos. You're trying to get people's experience.
Right. I'm going to be doing more of these. I'm going to be doing more of these in the future when the channel grows. I'm going to be doing more interviews with people as the channel gets bigger and stuff, and just kind of talk to people about what they've experienced, like paranormal-wise, cryptid-related, or just anything, really.
Yeah, we've really got to get to the bottom of all of this.
Right.
I mean, this stuff has been around since the beginning of mankind. I mean, all this stuff goes all the way back to, who knows, the beginnings of history.
Right.
I mean, we've really got to get to the bottom of stuff.
And there's like even accounts too, like of some wars, like where people encountered like cryptids and everything, like the Vietnam War. That the soldiers there reported like this giant monkey-like creature just picking up rocks and just chucking it at them, and they had to leave because they didn't want to get hit by the rocks, obviously. And then the locals said that there's just like some sort of like monkey-like creature that lives in those woods and is very territorial, and the locals don't even know what it is.
Yeah, see, some people are saying that those are the descendants of these freaking hybrids or something. Now, and they tie into these, deep underground military.
Now, I've seen an Ancient Aliens episode. I kind of want your opinion on this. They say that I've seen people say from Ancient Aliens, there's like a whole website dedicated to it. It's kind of a really, really weird, sketchy website, but I love reading it nonetheless. It kind of gives me a good laugh just reading some of the stuff. But they said Bigfoot is an alien, and they interview like this old redneck farmer. He's like, "Oh, I was out in the field, and then a UFO came out, and the tractor beam came down, and out of the tractor beam stepped Bigfoot." So there's a good community out there of people that believe Bigfoot's an alien, and I wanted to know what your opinion on that was.
Well, the best guy that I know that connects in Bigfoot, aliens, UFO, cryptids, monsters, and paranormal, and these, all this stuff. His name is Stan Gordon.
Stan Gordon.
I'll type that in for you guys Stan Gordon, because he's actually the reason why I found your Discord group was because of Stan Gordon, and he talked about cryptids, and I really didn't know much about them, but I knew that they were somehow tied into Bigfoot and all these different topics. So that's a good little piece that would probably be interesting to investigate, because that guy's really done a lot of work in this field.
Right, and I've been trying to get like interviews too with like some YouTubers like Chills. I messaged Chills. I'm gonna try to get some other people like creepypasta readers and everything just to come in and talk about like some of their stuff too. And maybe sometime I could try like more like famous people if my channel gets really popular. I could try Lauren Coleman some point maybe. I could even try Stan Gordon. I'll see what I can do if I can get any of these people.
Yeah, Stan Gordon, he's been around for a while. I mean, the area was Pennsylvania.
Okay.
But, I haven't seen an interview from him in a that would be really awesome if you could get Stan Gordon. Super knowledgeable. I mean, he himself says he hasn't witnessed really any of this, but he's talked to people that have. He used to have like a whole setup in Pennsylvania for people to call in and give them their experiences. Right. And he said that some of them linked in the Bigfoot with the UFOs.
Right.
So there was a linkage there, and that's right. That's why I learned about him, was because of that. But then through him, I learned about the cryptids. So he's definitely knowledgeable about that as well.
Right. All right, guys, you know what to do. Make it happen. If he has a Twitter, tweet at him saying, "Hey, Cryptocast wants to interview you, Stan Gordon."
I believe the last did posted on YouTube. Is this 2 weeks? 2 weeks ago?
For Stan Gordon?
That's the latest video posted. Yeah, Stan Gordon. Yeah.
So he's still fairly active. So I mean, there's a chance that I could probably try something and try to get him on the show.
Definitely. I think you should really get him on. I think he'd be an excellent guest for your time.
Yeah, I've been trying to get a list of people. I'll definitely add them to the list. I just gotta find some more
So,
people.
is anybody else coming on?
I actually don't think so. One person was gonna come on, but he had to go to the movies because he was babysitting and everything. He promised the kids he'd take them to a movie, so he won't be home till later. Then another person who was supposed to be on messaged me saying that they felt like shit and they were sick, so they couldn't come on. But
Yeah, that kind of sucks. I mean,
mm-hmm.
I'm glad I came. I've enjoyed just talking with you. I mean,
yeah, it was
you're pretty
fun.
knowledgeable on a lot of this stuff.
It was fun. Thank you. I've been doing. Let me see.
I've still got.
Oh yeah, go
I've
ahead.
got so much more information. It's amazing. I mean,
it's
just so hard to cover all of this stuff in just a small amount of time. I mean, I could go into this timeline I'm making. I mean, there's about still.
I'm definitely going to be doing these in the future again. So I mean, if you ever want to come out again and do another interview with me, just let me know. I'd be happy to have you again. It's been fun.
Yeah, and I'd actually like to talk a little bit more about this timeline I've got that I'm developing, and if for people that might be interested out there. I mean, I know there's not that many people out there listening, but if anybody else out there is, and they're interested in this, I'd like to give a little info.
Sure. My camera's still got a lot of battery. We can probably do like about another 15 minutes if you wanted.
Yeah, that should be enough time. And this is information I have for anybody that's into history, and I just started digging into this stuff, and so I started making this timeline. Skip over the biblical stuff about the fallen angels and Philistines and the Anak. Whatnot. And then apparently, according to the occult, these people later emerged as the Aryans, and they also as the Israelis slayed these giants that were in the Promised Land. There's a theory out there that they migrated to the north, and they actually later became the Germani tribes, these giant tribes that the Romans encountered.
Right.
But anyways, these Aryans, they're very important because they go back to, I believe, historically Central Asia, and they're identified with the Indo-European speaking people, and they migrated. BC, but the scholarly date is like, what is it, 2000, somewhere around 2000 BC, I think.
Right.
And migrated into India, and Rap and Indus Valley people started retreating. Their civilization collapsing. These Aryan people showed up. They're responsible for the Vedic literature, and we just talked about how the Vedas describe this flying machine of some kind. You can look into that.
Now, I just wanted to ask too. Do you, in the tale of David and Goliath, Goliath was described as like this giant human who was like really strong. And do you believe that he was one of these hybrid creatures that you were talking about?
Yes. Yes, I do.
I was just curious because like we were talking about that, and then that just popped in my head. I'm like, oh wait, yeah, I just remember.
Here's here's another interesting piece I just started. I want to add is
Go for it.
These area, right?
Yeah.
You know, modern day Afghanistan.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there are like some Marines or military people who said that they encountered some kind of like giant bodies or
Oh,
some
that's
kind
right.
of
Yeah.
giant in Afghanistan.
Yeah, I remember I
So
looked
could
into
be
that during a
I don't know.
stream. Yeah.
And so you had the Scythians, um, who by 900 BC they tie into all of this, and then by then you had the end of the Bronze Age by 800 BC, and this is the time when the Judaism started developing,
Right.
and you had by 721 BC is believed that the lost tribes of Israel, one of them being the tribe of Dan, and I believe the tribe of Benjamin is in there. Those bloodlines tie in. They're very important.
Mm-hmm.
So that means we've got the Aryans, the Scythians, the tribe of Dan, the tribe of Benjamin, and these Aryans were also identified with a bunch of other groups because it's believed that a group of them, when they started migrated into the Mesopotamia. There they set up the Mitanni, Hittites.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure about the Hurrians, the Syrians, and then the Syrians were overthrown by the Persians,
right?
Who were tied into these Aryans, and then you had the Chaldeans, and you have all these occultists who were all big on the Aryans. I mean, H.P. Of course, you have what's modern day, the word Aryan is associated with is Adolf Hitler and Nazism.
Right.
And racism.
Yes.
And now we're making full circle again. But anyways, in this time period leading up to the 1st century AD, and before that, you had all these different mysteries. You had the Orphic mysteries. You had the development of the Kabbalah.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Jews were held captive in Babylon. The Kabbalah was developed. And then you had Etruscans, who were they were north of Italy or Rome before it became known as Rome.
Mm-hmm.
They were the kings, and the Etruscan kings were important leaders of the mysteries. But what's interesting here is that you have important people on both sides. I mean, you had in Gaul, you had described by Caesar and De Bello Gallico,
right,
like tribes and how they're devoted to religious rites, which are the Druids.
Mm-hmm.
Those are one of the important mysteries. But then you have the Romans who conquered, this Gaul area, and then they encountered these Germanic tribes.
Right.
Which tie into these bloodlines as well, but then they were conquered.
Mm-hmm.
So there's, we're looking at. You had in China, you had Taoism.
Oh yeah.
The mysteries of Serapis, heresies, and the Romans, Roman Caesars, the Julio-Claudian dynasty. Those are important bloodlines, and then you had Christianity began developing, and you had the Mithraic mysteries, and eventually in 200 AD, the Gnostics were at their height. And the Gnostics are very important because a lot of these people who are part of these bloodlines are tend towards Gnosticism or Luciferianism or abnormal Christian deviations or cults. And the key to the Zoroastrianism is the Mazdaism, Jainism, and Manichaeism. I mean, the Freemasons they all study this stuff. I mean, they're all into this stuff. And by 400 to 700 AD, you had the Merovingian dynasty, which is widely regarded as one of the most important bloodlines. And modern European royalty. I mean, you've got the Yazidis, the devil worshippers. I mean, but the point is I want to make here is this stuff really ties into the East. It's not just a Western thing. This stuff goes all the way back to the ancient civilizations, and it's not just a Western idea. I mean, there's a bunch. And I forgot, I haven't even mentioned this. Atlantis ties into all this stuff. I mean, some people say Atlantis was actually or it was just, the American.
Yeah, I've heard
that's a whole nother concept.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that like Atlantis, like for the time, they were super, super advanced.
Yeah, so they were pre-flood. They were an antediluvian civilization.
Now, what about the Lemurians or the Lumerians? I believe they're called.
Lemurians yeah,
something. I can't pronounce
that's it. Another one of these groups.
They were kind of like Atlantis.
One of them. They're one of those ancient pre-diluvian or antediluvian. And I'm still going through my timeline here because I'm trying to build it up to the Bavarian Illuminati.
Right.
I mean, you had the Druses, who were a Gnostic sect. And I mean, this is stuff that people can start digging into. The Hospitallers, the original ones, the Cathars, the Assassins, the Hashish people. If anybody's played Assassin's Creed, that was 1090 AD. Hassan Saba founded the Assassins. And we're talking, I mean, the 11th century. This is, I mean, almost 600 years before the Bavarian Illuminati, and you had all of these groups are very important and people who research these conspiracies.
Right.
So what I'm giving you here are things to follow up on. You had in the 12th century, you had the Cathars, the Albigensians, the Waldenses. Those were all important groups. The Hospitallers of St. John of Jerusalem. And then in 1118 AD, the Knights Templar were founded by Hugh de Payens.
Right.
And that ties into the Priory de Zion and the Merovingians. So
all the different,
that's assuming that these bloodlines continue.
Right, and the thing about the conspiracy theories too, like all conspiracies, like have that one thing in common: somebody is behind it.
Right, and a lot of times you'll find that people, this is disinformation. Like the Priory de Zion does not exist.
Right.
Or clearly our history, there's something wrong with our modern view of history. I mean, to really know what really happened, we don't really know for sure. We just we don't have all the facts. We can't verify all this stuff, and it gets more and more mysterious the further you go back. So that's why I'm drawing it up here. In the 1300s, you had the Rosicrucians, the Order of the Knights of Rhodes. The 1400s, you had the Moravian Brothers, which was another Gnostic sect. And finally, we make it to the 15th century. Now, by this time, Europe, now already in between here, you mean before this, Europe was in the Dark Ages. And, the mystery religions had died out. The reason why it was called the Dark Ages is because the mystery religions died out. But clearly the knowledge that they possessed was preserved by some people. And you see the people that are behind these different groups, as I'm about to describe,
right?
They have some kind of knowledge. Right. So in the 16th century, now you had the Arabs, right? The Arabs preserved this ancient knowledge. And as they were making their way into Spain, I believe it's the King of Aragon, who is important in these bloodlines as well, married one of these queens, and they created I believe it was the Aragon. It was something about Aragon, and they ended up pushing out the Muslims out of Spain. And through this, there was a transfusion of this knowledge, or who brought knowledge back from the Middle East as well. And so there was this knowledge that was brought back into Europe, and then you had this, and in Afghanistan. We're going back to Afghanistan here,
right?
Specifically in Balk, Afghanistan. There was a group called the Roshaniya, and there were also the Sufis over there, and those are very important in the development of these occult secret societies. Because they're some people say the Roshaniya were a later reemergence of the Assassins, but I mean, I'm just giving a basic outline here, and that was in the 1500s. I mean, so this consistently, Afghanistan's been an important place. You had Babylon after Belshazzar died. The mystery religions moved to Pergamos. If you've read the Aeneid or any of what is the Odyssey, you'll know about Pergamos, which is in Turkey. And even Pergamos, Satan was identified with Pergamos because Jesus wrote the 7 letters to the 7 churches, and one of those churches was in Pergamos, and Jesus said that Satan dwelt there. So that's a key piece right there, because Manly P. Hall says that there's a link between the 7 churches and the 7 divisions of the Aryan race. But anyways, getting back to the 1500s, the 16th century, now we're back to the Alumbrados, which was founded or active by the 1520s.
Right.
You had the Anabaptists. You had the Sovereign and Military Order of the Knights of Malta, which I can get into a story of the Knights of Malta if you'd like me to digress into that real quick.
Sure, go for it.
Takes place later in the future. Okay, so there was this lady named Jessup, I believe, something Jessup, and you can find this on YouTube if you look up Hypogeum of House Saflini. I'll type that in the text box right here.
All right.
Hypogeum of how Saflini, how you pronounce it, and it's in Malta, which is this little island that's south of Sicily. And this Lois Jessup, that's her name, Lois Jessup.
Okay.
Right here, guys. She claims that she went in there to this Hypogeum, and she went down to these deeper levels, and then she went into this little cavern, this little crawlway or something, and she came out, and she says she saw some kind of freaking giants underground.
Oh, I think I have heard of this. Yeah.
You think you have?
I think I might have. Yeah.
That's another one of these really weird stories. And I've got a book that I think mentions it. It's by Steve Quayle. That's how I learned about this. So that's a really interesting story. And you had the Knights of Malta there. So that the whole island of Malta is an important place.
Mm-hmm.
And in 1541, you had the Society of Jesus, the Jesuits.
Oh, yeah.
Very important as well.
Yeah, they founded like a bunch of
Loyola.
Yeah, they found a bunch of schools and everything. The Jesuits.
Yeah, the Jesuits are they're very important, because Ignatius Loyola was also claimed to have. It is claimed that Ignatius Loyola was tied to the Alumbrados, but that's a disputed thing. After that, you had the Defenders, which were founded a little bit after. The 17th century, the 1600s. Oh, I'm sorry, we were talking about the 1500s. 1600s, you had Jansenism, the Ancient Order of Hibernians, the Camisards. I'm not sure how to say Camisards of Kevines. I'm not sure how to say that.
All these ancient languages and all these ancient people are hard to pronounce. I don't blame you.
Finally, we reached the 18th century, the 1700s, and boy, there was a lot more than just the Bavarian Illuminati. I mean, in 1717, you had the Grand Lodge of England, which is
Right.
the mother lodge of Freemasonry, was founded. In 1721, the Rite of Swedenborg, Emanuel Swedenborg, is very important when you're researching the occult and all these people.
Right.
In 1725, you had the Supreme Council in the Grand Orient of France, which is very important. France, which is where the Merovingian dynasty was, is a very important country. And honestly, all these countries in Europe are important. Spain, Germany, Italy, Switzerland, Belgium, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, the United Kingdom. I mean, all these places. I mean, even in the East are important as well. It's truly amazing what picture you start drawing here, because you'll find that a lot of these different groups have interlocking directories,
Right.
people who tie into both of them. I mean, and I'll kind of try to make this quick here. 1751 to 52, the strict observance. 1754, the Martinist order. 1760, now this was before 1776, you had what is called the Illuminati of Avignon. And I encourage anybody that's trying to dig into the Illuminati to look into this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Right here.
The Illuminati of Avignon, yeah.
Yeah, and also you had the Skopsi. The Skopsi were a Russian thing, and that's that started there, and it's very important.
There's a lot of sketchy stuff in Russia.
Yeah. The Skopsi were really, there were some strange people, very strange. They castrated people.
So was this around the time? So was communism in was Russia communist at this time then, or was it still?
No, this Russia was not communism. Well, what is it now known as communism wasn't around yet.
Okay.
But you had these different dynasties. I mean, just like any other place that were developing, because Russia is a very important place. St. Petersburg, very important, and the Skopsi here. They're one of these important orders as well that I encourage everybody to look into, including the Jesuits as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, 1761, ancient accepted Scottish Rite and the ancient and accepted Rite, which Scottish Rite, again, Scotland. That's very important. Scotland ties into all this stuff. I mean, the Templars. I mean, it even ties into the Belgae, which are one of these tribes. So anyways, you had the 1763 Order of Mopes. 1766, I also encourage people to look into this, the Rite of Zinzendorf. 1773, the Philelites. And finally, 1776, the Illuminati of Bavaria. And then you had Phi Beta Kappa. That's another fraternal organization, which Ben Shapiro is a widely known person who's a member of that group.
Yeah, I was gonna say that sounds like a college. That name sounds like a college fraternity.
Yeah, and I mean, you got the Skull and Bones. The Fabian Society, the Scroll and Key Society. There's tons of groups, fraternal organizations, societies, and stuff. 1785, the Universalist Church. 1786, the Tugendbund. 1786, the Society of the Friends of the Constitution. The Jacobins. Very important people. The Jacobins. If you want to know who the Illuminati were after 1776, I encourage you to look into the Jacobins. Very important group there. You had a revival in America, the 1790, the Knights Templar, the United Irishmen, the Orange Society, which derives from William of Orange, a very important man there. There was more than one, but look into the one that founded the order, or the Orange Order. Very important there. 1798, the Philadelphians, and 1799, the Scottish Philosophic Rite. Now, by the 1800s, there are tons. I mean, just scores and scores of these orders that are known about, and I won't even mention them all. I mean, you had the Rite of Mizraim in 1805, the Carbonarism, very important order there, 1809. the Hung Society, the Triad Society by 1815, and the Rite of Memphis. And the Mormonism was founded by 1830.
Yeah.
The Independent Order of B'nai B'rith was founded by 1843. The Independent Order of Odd Fellows in 1844 was founded in America. And I also want to mention this, if that for a perceiver of awakening, I don't know if he's still there, but the Baha'i movement was founded in 1844. 1850 had the Eastern Star, which is a Masonic group. 1860 had the Alliance Israelite Universal. And finally, 1860, Karl Marx
Oh, wow.
founds the International Communism. So we finally made it to modern
Wow.
communism. 1865, the Ku Klux Klan. 1866, the Theosophical Society. 1866, the Societas Rosicruciana in Anglia, a very important group that's part of the Freemasons. Skipping down here, 1872, the Ancient and Primitive Rite of Memphis.
Right.
1875, the Theosophical Society was actually officially founded. This is another important group here. 1876, the Swedenborgian Rite. That's a very important group right there. Yeah, man, I think it's Emanuel Swedenborg is the dude's name. 1876, the Watchtower Society, also known as the International Bible Students or the Jehovah's Witnesses.
Oh, yeah.
79. 1882. I'm not going to pronounce this right here. This is the Piety and Theosophy of the Orient, which deals, I think that deals with Greece. The Fabian Society, we mentioned that. 1883, 1884, the Hermetic Society, 1892, Masonry, and this is an important group. Now that this is no longer Illuminati, and I believe that at some point it was tied into things. The Ordo Templi Orientis was founded in 1895.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
OTO.
Yeah.
By the 1900s, you had the Vril Society, the Stella Matutina, which was a branch. It goes back to the Societas Rosicruciana in Anglia. The Thule Society in 1912. Well, and this later emerges into Nazism. Fascist by 1919. The League of Nations, 1920. Later, United Nations, which has a very interesting painting or airport type. Lucius Trust. I mean, got all these different groups. I mean, I haven't even mentioned Bilderberg or
Right. Are the Shriners connected at all? The Mullah Shriners?
Yes, they are. They're connected to the Freemasons, and they're an interesting bunch because the type of rituals they do and the type of stories I've heard come out of there are very strange and bizarre, to say the least.
I mean, they do good things. They do make hospitals for children, which is good.
Yes, and I'm actually very happy that a lot of Freemasons do a lot of good stuff for the community. I mean, they're actually how they help out a lot. They do a lot of great things.
Yeah.
Though, Satan comes as an angel of light, so we all have to be aware. We all have to be wise as serpents, but as harmless as doves. And I've heard too many people who are actually evil doers involved in the Shriners and the former Order of Jesters, as in the pedophilia and child abuse.
Yeah.
And I don't think this is the place to get all that, but let's just say that all ties in as well.
Right, like if you guys want to look up that stuff, you can look it up.
Yeah, and I could even go on at length about that. It ties into the Dutroux affair, and man, and that's why I gotta say, just everybody, our hope comes from the Bible, no matter how dark this world gets.
It's just kind of interesting.
Where else you want to go?
It's just kind of interesting seeing all these different people connected, like from like because like all these different organizations somehow, um, even if it's just a little bit, that they're just somehow connected.
A lot. I mean, a lot of it is that they're different factions, they're different groups. I mean, geographically, they're very far apart, but there is a commonality, and that's by definition they would fit under what can be called the Illuminati.
Right.
Be it the Illuminati of a particular religion, the Illuminati of a particular organization, or whatnot, just by the definition of the word.
Right. Wait, hold on.
Is there any other questions you got? I mean, I'm open to going anywhere really.
Well, let me see. So, since I'm going to be doing these more in the future, I'd like to have you back on again at some point. But, I guess, like maybe a little homework for you. Do some researching into like the missing 411 cases at the national parks. See like if there's any like see the commonalities between those and see if you can maybe link it back to something.
Yeah, I'll look into this.
I typed it in the chat the missing 411. A good place to start is there's a man who's really done a lot of research into this called David Pladius. He's written some books about it.
That doesn't ring a bell.
Let me see if I can actually find his name so I can just so I can see if I spelt it right, and I'll post it into the live chat.
Yeah, I would enjoy coming back on with you. I've enjoyed speaking with you, but I'd like to talk about specific topics instead of jumping all over the place.
Yeah, we can definitely do that next time.
Yeah, I'd like to dig into some specific areas, and this whole cryptid, occult stuff, paranormal stuff. It's always been fascinating to me.
Yeah.
Oh, David Pallades.
I said his name.
Okay.
I said his name wrong, didn't I?
Well, it's spelled like the star system, called the Pallades.
Okay. Yeah, I'm never good at pronouncing people's names, so.
Yeah, some of the when I started researching the Dutroux affair, I ran into so many weird Belgian names.
And then you think of like one person too, like that's like does something similar. You just get them all mixed up together. And yeah, there is a documentary that somebody made about the missing 411 cases too that I think is available online. So I strongly suggest checking that out too.
Yeah, I think I found a almost an hour-long video on it.
There's a bunch of them all on YouTube, so that's what I've been watching. Like I watched them because I was kind of curious. Like I like what's missing 411. I watched that like on Monday or something, and then I watched it and I was like kind of hooked. I'm like, huh. There's like all these different disappearances and like things connected to the missing people in the national parks. So I've just kind of been like, just this week, I just kind of been doing research on that. I might actually just do a stream talking about the missing 411 at some point.
Well, I know that this ties into the paranormal stuff.
Yeah.
But, when I start digging into child abductions and missing cases, that stuff for me ties into some very sinister stuff, and I think we're already on a good note here. I don't want to kind of end off on a bad note here, but
right.
I think that this just isn't the place to get into that.
Exactly.
But I'm telling you, it all ties in. It ties into Freemasonry. It ties into the fascists, the communists, the secret societies. I mean, all of this stuff. I mean, the mind control. I mean, all it's just
But
I mean, and a lot of it is just surrounded in mystery.
so next time I do this and you come on again, we can like do something specific instead of jumping around like you suggested. So we can definitely do that. We'll have to think of something. You're in my Discord, so I'm sure we can like talk together and like we can think of something what you want to talk about for the next one and do something with that.
Yeah, and I mean, we don't have to like just talk about the missing 411, but I mean,
Yeah, we can talk
if we
about other
could kind
stuff
of have a
too.
particular angle we want to hit,
Yeah, yeah,
if we could get some more people, that would be great.
yeah.
But yeah, I think I think your channel is definitely going to grow. Just keep on getting more content. Just keep
Oh,
pushing your
definitely.
channel in different areas. I mean, I think we could really
Hmm.
um, work with that for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
when did you start your channel?
Let me actually check. Let me go on my browser right here because I'm filming from my phone. It will tell me when I started.
You've got a bunch of videos. I mean, yeah, you're going pretty good. You just need to get it out there.
I started, it
Yeah.
says on here 9 months
Um,
ago. So almost a year. I think I started back in May, actually.
but you're doing pretty good. You got 100. You got more than 100 subscribers. Uh, Good amount of videos. I mean, you can really go anywhere with this.
Yeah, and
I mean,
I started like a new
it's
series where
truly amazing.
I started a new series where I analyze different cryptids and like rate them on whether I believe they're real or not. I've been thinking about doing another series too where I analyze paranormal and cryptid videos that people have recorded and submitted on YouTube and giving my opinion on those. So I'm planning on doing a
Yeah,
few cool
I
things.
I really encourage you to look into Stan Gordon and see how that fits into what you've been researching about cryptids. Because um, I haven't dug into his stuff too in depth. Like I haven't read his books, but I would really like to know what you think about
Yeah,
his information.
and I'll
On
definitely try to get in touch with him too at some point when my channel grows a bit, see if he wants to do an interview or something. And I mean, and guys too out there, if you're like who's ever watching, if there's any YouTuber like horror YouTuber, paranormal YouTuber, cryptid YouTuber, just anybody kind of in this community can even be a creepypasta YouTuber, just let me know and I'll try my best to reach out to them, see if they want to come on do an interview at some point. So just please let me know.
and you said you're in college, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Do you know anybody in college that's into this stuff as well?
I can probably find a few people. I mean, I know there's some people who are, but I'll have to find more people if there's if there are other people. I don't really talk too much in college, but I mean, um because like I have classes early in the morning, so I'm kind of like dead, but then like by the afternoon I'm talkative, so I'm sure I can find some people who are interested that I could get on the show.
Maybe if there's a club of a group or something,
The
that'd be
thing
really cool if you
Yeah,
could
the thing is though,
target this age group.
my college is a pain in the ass to set up different clubs and everything. I tried setting up a geology club one day. I emailed the person in charge of clubs. They they never emailed me back, even though they said they did. So, um, I still have my flyer and everything, and this was over a year ago. I just needed their approval, like to be like, "Yep, you can put this sign up." But I haven't gotten an email back, so I don't know if they got my email wrong or not. I'll have to talk to them. I'll have to send them another email.
You just have to be consistent with it
Yeah,
if they're ignoring you like that.
yeah.
But I mean, for any of those watching, I mean, do you have any questions for me or for Parker? I mean, I'm not sure when you want to end this, Parker, but I mean, I'm still available.
Yeah, let me see. I can probably we were gonna let me see. I can probably keep the let's actually make this a long stream today. I got let me see. It's I've been going for about 38 right now. Let's go for about like 2 hours. See if we can hit the 2 hour mark. So probably about 20 more minutes.
Oh yeah, we can do that. I can make that. Is anybody out there got any questions?
Let me see. I think the one person who went to the movies is back. I'm gonna see if he wants to hop in.
Yeah, we just, I guess it'd just be a planning thing out. I mean, it kind of sucks that a lot of people that we're gonna have on kind of failed on us, but I think we made it work.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we should target maybe, I wouldn't say just college age students and young adults. I think if we kind of targeted younger people and tried to educate them, not only about these, creepy pastas, SCPs, different creepy stories and stuff, but if we really tried to get to the fundamentals of all this, I think we could really help some people out and learning
Oh
about
yeah.
this different paranormal and occult stuff. And even I've been thinking about this myself, but making documentaries or investigations, doing field investigations, and recording myself when I'm investigating. Maybe like forming a group for to do group investigations, group research, and
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
I mean, and to document how that's done.
It's still pretty
Maybe as a
cold
behind the
here.
scenes of a documentary.
Yeah, it's still pretty cold here right now, so I know when the weather gets warmer, I asked some friends we're gonna go ghost hunting here. When the weather gets warmer, I'm gonna film that and then I'm gonna upload that on YouTube.
Oh, Jack, poor Jack.
So yeah, so I'm gonna be doing a ghost hunt here in the near future.
Yeah, if you don't mind me asking, what state are you in?
I am in Missouri.
Missouri. Okay, I've got a PDF version of a book called Ezekiel 6:3, um, uh, spiritual warfare, and I'm gonna check if it's got any information on Missouri.
Okay.
Yeah, we got a little bit here. Let's see, the caves in the Ozarks in Missouri and
Oh
Arkansas
yeah.
were apparently used for rituals.
Oh yeah, the Ozarks are. I've never been down there personally, but I mean, I've always wanted to visit. It seems like a really nice place, and I'm also really big into gems and rocks. There's a really nice rock store down there I really want to visit.
Oh yeah, that would be cool. I'd like to check that out too. The Ozarks and some rocks. Yeah, yeah. Carl.
Oh
There's
yeah,
another place, Carl Junction.
Carl Junction.
Carl Junction. Uh, Apparently, a
Carl
teenage
Junction.
satanic group convicted of first-degree murder was a public exposure of Satanism in the area. So this book that I have is trying to expose evil, right?
We
Uh,
also have this road here. I forgot which part it is, but it's called Zombie Road, and apparently it's like boarded off. Like if you get caught trespassing, you can get fined. But I mean, um, if I ever get around to it, I'll do it because I mean, like I don't know, I don't really care.
be careful, man. Just be careful. I mean, I don't know if it'd be better to go at night or if it'd be better to go at daytime because nighttime might be a little dangerous.
Yeah. They said like that people see like the ghosts and the dead like walking on the bridge at night, and
That'd
so
be something to investigate, though. I
yeah.
mean, let's see. Let's see. I got more locations here. I have the Fantastic Caverns.
Oh,
Um,
don't think I've
these
heard of that.
caverns were located in the Ozarks near Springfield.
Oh
This is
shit.
a
Okay.
Wiccan ritual site.
Hmm.
Oak Grove,
Oak
a
Grove.
small satanic coven apparently operated in the area. Louis, the sewers of St. Louis, just as many other cities, are being apparently were being used by Satanists.
The
That would be
sewers.
see, that's what I'd like to investigate is like sewers
Hmm.
and try to investigate some kind of satanic ritual.
Hmm. Have you ever seen like those videos YouTube, like all those people, they see like different creatures like living down in the sewers.
Really? I've seen it a little bit. I've seen like urban exploration, but I haven't seen creatures like that. But I have. I mean, that whole Malta story was definitely frightening.
Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, people claim that they see like creatures living down in the sewers. I might have to do a video, like a stream one day about like sewer creatures, because some people see, like, there was one somebody saw like this. I don't know. Like, have you ever seen that TV show, The Secret Saturdays, back in the day?
I don't believe so. I'm not sure.
All right, it was a Cartoon Network show, and it's like this one. I wish I missed it, but it was like this one family that went around like hunting cryptids and everything. That sort of like I liked them before, but that really sparked my interest in them. And
Right.
they hung around with this creature known as a Fiskerton Phantom. It was like this sort of like Bigfoot, but it had like a cat-like head, and there was like something like that, kind of like in a sewer in a video. There was also creatures like, if you're familiar with creepypastas, the Rake. There's like creatures like the Rake living down in the sewer.
Yeah. Huh. I think I remember that's like one of those scary things.
Yeah.
That's creepy.
So like people have just seen like so much stuff living down in these sewers, and nobody knows what it is. And sometimes like if you live by like if people like live by the ocean stuff, sometimes like there was like this giant like pulsating blob in the sewer, but it turned out it was like some kind of like it was like a giant like sea apple or sea cucumber or something, or like a glob of anemone kind of thing just got in there, and it looked really weird on camera, but it was just a normal sea creature. So sometimes people see things and then they're like, and then it turns out to be something that's actually like a legit thing that science actually knows about.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably all kinds of weird stuff. I mean, that's why I enjoy reading and researching, investigating this stuff because, I mean, all this weird, occult, paranormal stuff is just so fascinating to me. It really needs to be investigated objectively, and we need to get hardcore documentation of what we can.
Right.
Like there's quite a bit of activity in Missouri. I mean, there's an ancient Indian city called Tawasagi, something like that.
I haven't heard of that.
It's believed that I can send it in the chat. I mean,
Sure.
you could probably look into it.
Let me see. I'm trying to find a place where you can.
Here, I got this this ancient Indian city had walls and was well protected. It was believed that Indian aristocrats lived within the city. A conical pyramid is within the city remains.
Mm-hmm.
Permission to visit the site must be received by the parks superintendent, Missouri Department of Natural Resources, Division of Parks. It doesn't receive many tourists, so it is still relatively secret for rituals. So apparently there's rituals going on.
Mm-hmm. We also have this building called the Lemp Mansion.
Whoa, that's...
If you're ever if you're familiar,
mansions, yeah. That's kind of...
So there's like a whole history about the Lemp Mansion. Like they believe, like there's believed that they like the family like the mansion was cursed. People kept dying in the mansion. Some people in the family gave birth to like this really kind of deformed, very like mentally like this really deformed, mentally ill kid, and they were so ashamed that they kept him locked in the attic, and people claim to see his ghosts like around the building, and they call him the Monkey Boy, as he kind of resembles a monkey.
That's creepy.
And now it's a restaurant too. It's a brewery, and people report like tablecloths being pulled on. People report like silverware being like thrown across the room, lights moving and flickering. So there's a lot of activity at that place. I want they do like haunted houses every now and then. So I would like to, one day I just want to kind of go investigate that too. Hey Reaper.
Ooh, hello?
Hello.
Hey there.
Hi.
How are you?
Oh, and...
Can anyone hear me?
I can hear you.
Yep, I can hear you.
me turn this on. There we go.
Can't?
I can. You're good.
So what are we doing on here?
Oh, we're talking about we're sharing different experiences and everything. So if you have an experience, you feel free to share it.
What are you doing with the audio?
Wait, is the audio bad?
Bro.
Wait,
Hello.
is the audio good on my end? Hold on, let me see.
Yep, we're good. We're good.
We're good. Okay. Okay, audio's good. So we're sharing experiences right now, just talking about like our like paranormal experiences, cryptid encounters, um, all that stuff. So, if you do have an experience, you feel free to share it.
Okay. Oh yeah. I'm gonna give you a heads up on this. If you hear a girl just randomly screaming my name and just running in, like getting louder, that's my little.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're babysitting right now.
Yep. Just got back from How to Train Your Dragon 3, so she's on hopped up on I.
Oh no, I saw that movie on Tuesday. I actually really liked it.
Oh yeah, I did too. There was a lot of callbacks to the original.
There really was, and I appreciated that.
But have you read the book?
I have not. No.
Oh, that ending line in the movie was actually the first line in the book.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll have to
The
check.
book starts out where there weren't any dragons. Like, it's Hiccup telling the story of the dragon.
Huh? I'll definitely have to read the books then. I haven't read them. I've just seen the movies.
Oh, there's no Night Furies, by the way.
In the book,
You know those shitty little green dragons?
the Gronkles, the fat ones,
The monster is something. What?
the little fat
The little
dragon.
green one.
Oh, those, yeah.
Yeah, that was Hiccup. He had the shitty little green dragon originally.
Oh, really?
But that would make a good movie if it was just him running around that little shitty thing.
Right. So they had him add new dragons and everything, which is cool.
Yeah. Because originally in the book, they already had befriended the dragon. It was like a Viking's rite of passage to go climb a mountain and get an egg.
Huh.
And Hiccup just ended up getting the shittiest dragon. Also, the dragon hated him, so it would constantly just fuck with him.
Oh my god. Poor Hiccup.
And Snot Loud, even in the book, got a monstrous nightmare, which was originally supposed to be Hiccup.
Oh, he was supposed to have the fire one.
Yeah. In the book, basically, he's not a disappointment for liking dragons. He's just a disappointment because he grabbed the shittiest one. His father basically doesn't like him because he grabbed the worst dragon possible.
That's a mood.
Yeah, it's a fun. But I should probably share my experience and
Yeah.
talk about that book.
Yeah, so we got about
Right?
we got about like 8 minutes right now, so
Oh, sorry.
you're good, you're good.
It's perfectly. I can just ask me what you want to hear. I have that story from my grandfather. I have the Watcher, and then I have the most unbelievable BS story I could ever.
I don't know. Which one would you rather tell? Like, do you have a preference?
I could probably go about the Watcher most, because that's my first.
All right.
You just wanted to start where it all began, or
Yeah.
hello?
Yeah, that's all good with me.
Should I just start where it began, or
Yeah, start where it began.
if I remember the date correctly, it was in 2007. It was right after my grandfather first started. We were coming back funeral, and we had also stopped at the grocery store. I forget why. But I remember my mom was telling me to go put some of the groceries away in the freezer that was in my grandfather's old workshop. When I went in there, I was instantly stopped and looked up, and there was a shadow. The best way I can describe it is a black figure, just basically so black that it just kind of like the outline of it could be seen in the dark room, and just two red eyes staring up at me.
Now, was this the
And
thing that
the
you said
best
that
way,
looked like a Nalusa in a way? Was that the one thing?
yeah,
Yeah.
because it could also, because I never told you this correctly, but it did. I could only see at the corner of my eye, and then when I turned, I would see it, but then it would immediately just hide.
So it
That's
just.
why I originally thought when you told me that, I thought it was that because I didn't even tell you that, and it also straight.
So when you just looked at it, it just hid away and just vanished, pretty much.
It just vanished or it just went somewhere because I have no idea what the hell this thing was.
Let me see. I'm trying to.
But this
So,
thing was the weird.
so for all my viewers, this is what a Nalusa is. It's a creature Native American folklore that hides in the shadows.
But the thing that would be the worst about this creature that I always had to look out for when it was around was there would be this week period where I don't know why, but it become the most enraged thing possible. Where just from Monday to Friday, it would become even highly more aggressive, like trying to get. And it took me a while to figure out that it has some. It doesn't like noise, and it seems to just be easily freaked out if you do something very like quickly that it won't expect, like trying very fast, just have a lot of noise. It'll just freak it out, but it won't get rid of it. Kind of more like you know when you like that's like a describe is, you know, like when you're out in the woods and you see that you're trying to get rid of animals around you, and bang like a pot and all that sudden that random noise will scare it away.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like that. Like it would just like spook it and not get rid of it, really. But
Or kind of
yeah,
like a deer caught in the headlights kind of situation.
yeah, like it would just like kind of freak out for me. Like it wouldn't realize what's going on. Then it would try it again. Yeah, but this thing is freaky as hell.
Have you been
But its eyes, I will never forget its eyes.
Have you been seeing it anymore lately, or has it just essentially
no, not in a while. The last time I saw it was right after I did a prayer when I was trying to, I could just say, trying to break down the bathroom door to get.
Was that one day when you joined my group?
Thing...
Was that when you joined my group on here on Discord?
No, that was a long time ago.
Okay.
I've seen it very rarely ever since, but I just wanted to finally tell someone about the experience.
So Jack wants to know in the chat. So she says, so was it just a tall figure with dark eyes?
No, it was a tall, dark figure with red glowing up.
Right. So
no discernible features.
So it is so it's a tall, dark creature. It was skinny, right? Skinny?
Kind of has like a medium build, but the best way I can describe it, probably best way I know the height due to the roof and stuff is about 7 feet tall.
Okay, so a very tall creature, 7 feet tall, medium build, no discernible features, but just two glowing red eyes.
Completely black.
And completely black.
And it seems to have like a tangible thing where it's like it has a physical kind of thing, but it can't be red. It can't go for stuff, but it's still physically there.
So it can have like sort of like a physical form almost. Like, is that where you're kind of going at?
Yeah, kind of like you could just like it physically just like it can't walk. Still like kind of like go. I don't know how to intangible. I think that's the word, right?
Yeah. So like normally like how ghosts, it can like sift through walls and something. If this thing was like in its physical form, it couldn't walk through walls.
It was trying to break. It was trying to like get into the door, so it means it couldn't physically walk.
Right.
But the thing does seem to be more of like as like a thing for religion. Basically, I think it does. It's some kind of demonic entity because it can't. The only reason I haven't seen it anywhere else in the house beforehand was the last time I saw it, was every place in the house that he couldn't get to had a religious relic, like a cross or a prayer hand. In the hallway in the other shop is the only place that it didn't have those, and that's where it would roam you.
Mm-hmm. Oh wait! Oh, somebody in the chat says they think they saw something similar.
Oh, if someone has, I would love to hear about it.
Here, actually, let me tag them in the voice chat. They can type it out here if they don't want to talk.
And just knowing that someone else went through that experience would be really nice.
All right, so if anything, I'm pretty sure they. Okay, yeah, they're gonna type it out for you, so you guys can share similar experiences here.
Chat?
Yeah, it's in the the voice chat that I tagged you in.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Yeah, right here.
Okay.
So, well, did you ever put any more crosses up after this, or?
Okay, sorry, I had.
Oh, you're good.
Real quick.
Did you put any more crosses up in your house after this?
No, but I did start moving the crosses that I had around, like cross necklaces and stuff. I was like hiding them in certain.
Right.
Trying to limit its areas of hiding. But the thing does seem to have some. Sorry, I almost clicked on you.
Oh, you're good.
I think I remember that. I don't really. I do.
Mm-hmm.
What was your experience with it? Can he hear me right now? The person who's typing?
Yes, they are watching YouTube as well. They're watching the stream.
Oh, I'm on YouTube right now.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
I'm sorry, I thought you knew.
That's why I was asking you, what are you using the audio for?
I'm sorry, I thought you knew. That's my bad.
It's fine.
Hi, Ren. How are you?
Matter?
Oh, they just said, oh shit, because they're like, uh-oh, you didn't, like, they're like, oh shit, I don't think they let me, I don't think, they're like, oh shit, I don't know. Actually, I'm trying to think of how to explain it. They're like, oh shit, like, I don't know.
I was wondering, since you said this thing was similar, have you ever heard it kind of like talk? Because it would like mimic, I think it's the same creature, but it would mimic voice. It would mimic my mother's.
Okay. Dinos didn't talk.
I never saw it physically talk, but like my mom, the best I can describe it was I was on the phone with my girlfriend at the time, and she kept asking me why am I not listening to my mom when she's calling me, and my mom had left about 30 minutes ago to go to the rock concert, and from her room, my mom was calling my name just to come there, and it freaked me the hell out. So I found a way to go see what was calling that name, and I rushed there, and all of a sudden I hear my dog start whining and like kind of like yipping. And I run downstairs, and the dog's right where the creature would be if it was during the nighttime, and she was freaking out, laying on her stomach.
That's freaky, actually.
Oh yeah, it watched me too, constantly.
Let me see.
Hey, we've got 5 people watching now.
Yeah. Let me show you. Okay, so Dino. I'm going to show you something from on Google Images. Did it look like this at all?
Should I go on this YouTube stream to go see what's going on?
If you want to, you can.
Yes?
You can if you want. I put the link I added everybody so you can take a look, but I just want to know, did it look anything like this? Yes, but okay, so
Is that drawing you showed me a long time ago?
Yeah, the one about the shadow person with the red eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Dino says that's what theirs looked like, except it didn't have red eyes.
did yours have?
Dinah was saying in the YouTube comments, they were saying it had just black eyes.
Weird. Mine had like distinct red eyes. Like that was the only thing on it you could recognize.
That's freaky.
Man, I know somewhat the creature kind of sounds like. I've looked up stuff about this before, and I thought it was sleep. Like I thought it was sleep paralysis. You know, like where you wake up and you feel like a shadow person when you're asleep. But I saw this thing when I was clearly awake.
That's odd.
Like I was not asleep at all.
Did it seem like specifically to go after you?
Yeah, like no one in the house, and in my dog that one.
Oh, that's right. It did go after your dog that one day, like you said.
Yeah, like the scariest thing was it seemed like it was distracting me. Because it was leading me to one part of the house using my mother's voice, and then as soon as I was in that room looking around, that's when my dog started to get bit. And that's what scares me the most about this thing, because it made me realize this thing is fucking smart.
That's freaky. So it was a tall shadow creature with red eyes and that can mimic voices, and
Yeah.
it just sort of just watched you. Did it ever get like up close, or did it usually just stay from a distance?
Only that one time after my grandfather's funeral, it just kind of stared me down until I ran to my mom. I was like 7 when I first saw it, so it scared me, so I didn't really do anything.
That actually might be the reason that mimicked your mom's voice, because you went to her when you were younger, when you first saw it, to get comfort. So it was trying to use that voice again to probably try to lure you over there, thinking that's your source of comfort.
Yeah, it was, but that was like a year ago, and it started really getting it when my ex-girlfriend, the one that I think I told you before, that was into all that kind of witch stuff.
Yeah. So it got angry after you dumped her?
No, like when I was with her, she claimed to be a sadist.
Right. So she was.
I never really.
So it got like more violent when she was around.
Yeah, like that's even when the person I was talking to was her, and that's when it did. Like it seemed to become more violent when she was physically there. And that one time that I like physically saw it with detailing, like on the grayish kind of like skin, was when she was here.
That's freaky.
Like the best way to describe it is that somehow my girlfriend kind of worked as like a power source for this thing to just become more like physically able to do stuff.
There are
kind of like a battery. That's the best way. Like it was using her as a battery.
Did she ever feel like
before only was watch, but then as soon as she started hanging around with me, it physically could do more and more.
Did she ever feel like drained of energy after all this?
For a while, yeah, but I started to feel better.
Okay, because there are things. I used to watch this show. It was called The Haunted. It was like an Animal Planet show about pets that could like sense paranormal normal activity in the house and everything. And when they had psychic investigators come,
dogs will randomly bark at stuff.
Yeah,
just like at walls.
But
Mom just claims it's their old age, but they just bark in specific spots.
But in the show, when they had a psychic come and investigate this one house, like this one person like kept feeling like really weak all the time. They said they said like you got an energy vampire in your house, like this spirit that like just sucks. It's like a vampire, but instead of drinking blood, it drinks your energy to power itself.
Oh, so you saw it when you woke up, Dinah. That sounds more like a sleep paralysis. Like one of those shadow people you see after sleep paralysis.
Still, though, I do think there is
Quick
some.
move.
I still do think there is some kind of link between sleep paralysis and that. Hmm.
Tried to pull at your pajamas?
Hmm. That's odd.
But I did think I heard the thing's real voice one time.
Ooh. What was. Oh.
What?
Oh. No, I've been trying to pull on your. That didn't have to be an NSFW. Don't worry about that. Just you could have posted that in Cryptid Experience. That's not nothing too bad. But
Oh no, unless it gave you like the BJ from the Ghostbusters movie, then you're fine.
but yeah.
That'd be a completely different paranormal experience I'd like to hear.
No, I would do a stream on this, but I don't know if like YouTube would be pissed off about it. There's like this actual like paranormal phenomenon called ghost sex, where people claim that they had sex with ghosts and
Oh,
everything.
that'd be awesome.
I would do that, but I don't want my stream getting flagged. So
Hey, forget Casper the friendly ghost. Get Sugar the friendly prostitute.
God. Oh my
Oh.
God.
Hey, we got 6 people now.
Oh yay.
People must have missed the beginning part.
The spectral prostitute.
Oh my God, that's great.
Did more people just join after I said Sugar the spectral prostitute?
Yes.
Oh, we got 7.
It's fucking awesome.
That's our new trigger word. That's how we get people to come in.
Hey.
Sugar the
Hey, all of those that are listening, please ask questions.
Yeah. Also, guys, I need fan art. Somebody please draw me a picture of Sugar the spectral prostitute for my wall. I would greatly appreciate that. I would just like a giant like picture. I need a picture just so I can put it like right here on my wall of Sugar the spectral prostitute. Somebody needs to put that, like make that a real thing. I would love to have that on my wall. Like that's like a new OC. That could be like somebody's kin. That I don't know what you want to do with that, but it's a thing. And yeah, Ren, oh that's right, Ren. The SCP milk. But
it's just Casper's sluttier cousin no one wants to mention.
All right, so let me lingerie. Wait, what? Amethyst missed out. So it's a long story, but I do want to read off a story that somebody sent me who couldn't be on to talk today. So I'm just gonna read this off. I guess after I read this, I guess we can talk for just a couple more minutes, and then I guess after that we'll wrap it up.
Oh, this is awesome.
Sounds good. Please, we're getting more and more views right now. I really hope that these people ask questions.
Oh, thank you, Courage, the Cowardly Dog. I miss that show so much. But so this story is from Tia Gem in my chat. She's on today, so she just typed out and told me what to say. So this is her story. So my dad died in mid-December of kidney and lung cancer, and I consider myself to be semi-sensitive to the paranormal. So it's surprising that I didn't feel him go, nor did he visit me directly after, like people tend to describe. It took my dad several weeks to come to me, and in my sleep, I dreamt that I was at my grandma's house, and I heard the door open. I went to go investigate since I was somewhat aware that I was asleep, and my dad was standing in the front of the room. He looked how I remember him before he got sick and lost hundreds of pounds, wearing his favorite shirt. He hugged me and let me cry, and after I had calmed down, he handed me a check for $36,000. He told me it was for damage control. I don't remember what I did with the check, but I do remember asking Dad where he had been. He said, "I can't tell you that, you're still alive," and then I felt like I was underwater before waking up in tears. So that is her story.
That's interesting that she felt underwater. Maybe that, like, she was
Yeah. Like, dreaming. And then, like, the fact that her dad told her in the dream, like, she asked where he'd been, and he said, "I can't tell you yet because you're still alive." I do feel like I know spirits can like contact people like in their dreams and everything, and I do feel like maybe that her dad actually did come through that night to talk to her.
possible. It could be the case.
Yeah, it's an interesting story. So let me see.
Oh, we got 7 people now.
Yeah, so let me actually go.
I'd really.
Oh, go ahead.
I'd really like to ask them to, if they've got any questions on the overall topic.
YouTube crashed for just a split second. I'm back now though, but so yeah, I'll be doing more streams of these in the future. But yeah, the stream crashed for a second. I think it's good now. But so I will be going probably for about another 5 minutes then. So if you guys
sounds good to me.
Yeah, so if you guys have any questions for us, please let us know because we'd be happy to tell you. But yeah, I will definitely be doing more of these in the future. So I just had to figure out when. But yeah, I would definitely love to do some of these in the future. So let me see. So I do have. Let me see. I haven't talked about some of my encounters before. So my first ghost hunt, I was a junior in high school, and we were sort of we went around like we went. It was my first ghost hunt. We went to like, kind of like this little haunted town in my area, and my friend and I like we took pictures and everything, and we got and we actually got some stuff on camera. Like there was this image of a person that was sort of like cloaked in light almost sitting on a bench. And then there was like then I got this picture of this one that looked like a face of a lady looking out from the attic of a window. So I'll definitely have to post those like in the chat or on Twitter sometime so you guys can look at them. But it was a fun experience, and I'm going back this year again with some other friends. So hopefully I can catch more. We're gonna have a bigger crew and everything, so it should be better.
And they should film that as well.
Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna film that and put that up on YouTube. So that'll probably be we're planning on doing it late May, early June. So in a couple months when the weather gets actually warmer for once, because it's March 1st. It's supposed to snow here tomorrow, and it already snowed like 10 times this winter, and I fucking hate it.
Yeah, it's kind of cold over here. I'm in Texas.
Virginia.
Oh, Virginia. Oh, wait, just normal Virginia or West Virginia?
Normal Virginia, right? Potomac River.
Oh, cool. Let me see. I mean, ooh, somebody said something in the chat. Stephanie, after my dad passed away, he called my brother on the phone. I don't remember the whole story, but he swears that the phone rang, and he heard my dad and a bunch of static. Wow.
It's pretty creepy. As Amethyst said, that's spooky.
Yeah, and I've heard too a lot of stories in the past of people getting phone calls from deceased loved ones, and it's pretty much what you described, Stephanie. Just you hear the voice of somebody, and it's just pretty much static in the background. The calls don't last long at all, but I mean, it's just sort of just like long enough that you can actually like hear the person's voice, and I don't know. In a way, it's sort of like a comforting thing to me, because like if somebody you really cared about died, and then you hear their voice again, it's just sort of it's one of those things that means a lot to the people that receive those calls.
All right, well, I'm getting ready to head out.
Yeah.
I wish I could have brought some of my knowledge to the table here at the end here, but I'm looking forward to any other recordings you may do.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be doing more of these in the future.
Actually, here, Parker, take this question by Amethyst.
Sure. Is there any ghosts or cryptid you think are for sure real or for sure fake? That is a good question. Okay, so I've been doing like I mentioned before. I've been doing this new series on YouTube where I analyze cryptids, giving them a rating on a scale of 1 to 10 of whether I personally believe that they're real or not. Now, there are some cryptids out there that were once considered cryptids that were actually proven to be actually real creatures, like the okapi. The okapi was once considered the African unicorn because it was so rare, nobody really saw it, and it was just described in Africa. And then when people went to go down and visit, they actually saw the okapi and they captured it and brought it back. So the okapi was once considered a cryptid, but is real. Same thing with the duck-billed platypus. When they saw that the first time as a taxidermy, people were like, "That can't be real. That's just a duck mixed with a fucking platypus." And then they went to Australia. They saw it. So, and new creatures are being discovered every day as well. So there's a good chance that we'll find more. But a lot of those old creatures that you find, like in the old medieval bestiaries and everything, those aren't real at all. I really don't think so. Like there's this one called the Myrmecelian. It's a giant lion-sized ant with the head of a lion. But
okay, hold on. You just mentioned lion. Sorry to barge in here, but remember that Malta thing by Louis Jessup? She said that these things kind of had long hair, and these things kind of had like a lion-like appearance.
Yeah.
Been described like that.
I'm trying to think of. Let me see. These things had they were like giant ants with lion heads. Which is really weird.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
But the thing is, when these were put into old medieval bestiaries and everything, there actually is a creature called an ant lion. It's just like it's like a larva of some kind of beetle and everything that just makes a giant pit, and the ants just get stuck in the sand and then it eats the ants. So it was just sort of like a mistranslation. They literally took ant lion literally and thought it was an actual like lion ant hybrid creature.
Maybe there's something to it, or maybe not. I'm not sure.
Either way, I like it. When I first found out about it, it's in my top 10. I might have to do a top 10 video one day talking about my favorite cryptids.
All right, well, I enjoyed this.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to any other new recordings. I'm gonna head out now.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming out, Carter. It was really awesome to have you. I'll definitely be doing these more in the future. I'd love to have you again.
Good night.
Good night. It was awesome. Thank you.
Can I join again sometime?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. When we have more time, for sure. I'll probably be doing these. I don't know how long I'll be doing these. I don't know if I'll do it every other month or I don't know. I'll have to figure out like a good schedule for when to do these because these were fun. Probably when the chat grows a bit more, the Discord comes in, these people and more people want to share their experiences. So I'll definitely be doing these more in the future, and you're definitely invited back sometime.
Also, I'm gonna now go draw Sugar the Spectral Prostitute.
Oh my god. Sugar the Spectral Prostitute. Oh my god, that's fucking great.
But I got a question. What's the weirdest cryptid you ever heard of?
The weirdest? Oh god, that's actually... Let me think. There's so many weird ones. Well, on Tumblr, somebody asked me one day, like earlier this week, actually, they said, "What is the funniest cryptid to you? The one that makes you laugh the most?" And I'd say this is kind of similar to that question, the weirdest cryptid. There's this one cryptid that's found in Alaska, It's called the Gigi bird, and it gets that name because like it just flies around saying G Jesus, it's cold. And the thing is, people do believe that in Alaska and everything, there are people like selling exotic pets and everything. People and like parrots are one of those things. So people believe that it's that parrots got out and learned it from like some of the people living down there. Like they heard them say Jesus, it's cold, so they might have picked up on some of that, like that phrase, or it could have been like ravens can sometimes mimic human speech, and ravens are really prominently found down in Alaska as well. So some people believe that it could be like a raven as well. So I don't know, just the fact that gee Jesus, it's cold. It's funny as fuck to me.
I remember one of them. This was one that's in Africa. I forgot the name of it is, but it has the body of a hyena in a withered basket for a head.
What? A what basket?
And what it would do? What?
It has what for a head?
A withered basket. You know what those baskets like they weave and
Oh my
used
god.
to be like a giant kind of like vase, kind of like basket weaved like that.
Oh my god.
And it has a hyena body and like this giant like kind of thing for a head, and it will lay down next to a bunch of pots and stuff. And when people put their hands in it to reach in, it'll bite their hands off.
What? That sounds like one of the lumberjack cryptids. Those like lumberjacks see a lot of shit. That sounds. Oh my god.
I'm just wondering, how do you not see the fucking hyena body attached to this thing?
Oh my god, I've never heard of that one. If you find out what it's called, send me that. I'll definitely post that on.
Oh, that also reminds me. I gotta send you a link that I found. I gotta show you this photo I found on Tumblr. It's a cryptid that's supposed to be the ghost of a woman who fucked a priest, and now she's just a headless deer with flames coming out of the neck.
Oh my god. So she's just a headless
it's something that's
deer
from South America.
That's crazy.
Oh, wait, I'll get the photo right now. Just give me a minute.
Oh, that's crazy though. Okay.
There's some of the stuff that people come up with. It's so funny that some of them are so realistic. Either that, or you're just wondering what drug trip was this person on when they fought it.
Oh god. Whatever they're smoking, I don't want it.
Okay, I got the photo. Just give me a sec. I'm gonna put in the.
Oh yeah, amethyst, the deer women. I've heard about them too. The Native American deer women.
I'll put it in the voice chat. Here it is. I sent.
You sent it. Let me take a look. About what the fuck is? Oh my god! If you ever think you're, it's a mule. If you ever think your folklore is crazy, just remember Brazil has a woman who turns into a headless mule with fire coming out of her neck after she fucks a priest inside a church. Okay. There it is, guys. You saw it here first. Fucking hell.
Wait. Do you want to go see if I can find the jug creature that I was talking about?
Yeah, after you find that, I'll probably wrap it up here after that.
Okay, just let me see if I can find it.
God.
Sorry, a little bit. It's just taking me a little bit to Google it.
Oh, you're fine. But, oh my god. Oh my god. That fucking oh my... I'm like at a loss for words on that one. I know a lot about cryptids, but I've never heard of this one. And it's... Oh my god. It's just a shock. Actually, with this point, with all the cryptids that I've read about, this should not surprise me, but it does. It really surprises me. Oh my god. Yeah, I always almost fall amethyst. I'm on this stool. This little like bongo tiki drum stool, and the thing is, watch this.
Is that a drum?
It's a bar stool. My dad is like this. My dad used to have like tiki parties like every year almost, and he had these these things, but they just came with a little bar, but they're falling apart now. I've been sitting in these chairs for far too long, and I just really want one of those like little spinny office chairs so I can just spin around during my streams, like a fucking kid at fucking IKEA.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Oh, we have
Sorry
that.
to take me over by this jug guy.
Not sponsored, by the way.
What the hell? You do not want to know the shit I just found. This is ridiculous.
Oh no! Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's just like all congealed in there. Oh god, that's probably not safe for YouTube. Oh no. It's like Gordon Ramsay. I feel like Gordon Ramsay rating fucking glue right now. It's all congealed and
Bloody raw.
yeah, the glue's all raw. It's fucking raw. Oh my god, I didn't get that on video. I can't get it on video, but I tossed it and it stood up.
Weirdest ones I found while I was looking for this thing.
A fucking severed foot. What the, wait, what?
Yes.
What the hell is...
That is a deer with fists coming out of its body.
Jesus.
I have no idea what's going on with the middle one.
It's just some dude, it's just some ogre riding an ostrich.
No, it's not riding it, it's coming out of the ostrich.
Oh, I gotta get this. This glue smells too. Oh god.
And the other one's just a separated leg.
There's one in Mexico that's a severed hand.
And then there's just this jacked ass horse. This is just jacked horse.
Oh, you got a ringside seat to your own SmackDown, brother. Okay, so let me see. There's the deer thing. Whatever.
Oh, that's a horse.
Horse creature. There's the ostrich man person. I kind of don't want to show that on YouTube. That looks really bad. And then just a severed leg.
I'll put the link to this website because it has like a ton of cryptids on here that are ridiculous.
Oh gosh. It'll definitely help me out on Tumblr. Oh god. No. Gotta get this glue away from me, fucking hell.
Oh dude, I looked up the buff horse's thing about the myth behind the buff horse. They say it's a man or a woman who practiced the dark arts and sold their soul for a magical... Is that accordion?
What?
And other accounts say it's simply a man who was a werewolf and lost control.
What? 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 The leg?
Okay, I found out why the arms come in. It's said to come out at night and prey on nocturnal travelers. Sometimes it's a horse standing by the side of the road waiting for riders. Its spine stretches more and more people get on. And basically, it'll just keep getting bigger the more people there are that can ride it. And then it gallops right into the lake, echoing in the darkness. Each time its rushing past where it brings out brawny arms and throws the victim into a muddy ditch.
This sounds like
on the man's back and force it to carry them.
This sounds like a fucking Pokemon.
So this thing will have you ride it, and then it'll throw you in a ditch with its big buff arms, and then it'll jump on your back demanding you give a ride.
It literally sounds like a fucking Pokemon. Yeehaw.
Okay, I'm gonna send you this. I'm just gonna send you the link to this site, so when you're done with this, you can just see this.
Alright, I gotta go get that glue I tossed. I gotcha, glue. I just literally just tossed this glue like halfway across the room.
Okay, I sent you it.
Gorilla Glue, the official meme of Cryptocast. pictures. Let me take a look. I'll keep this up.
Here you go. Here's a direct link to the main page of it. The other one was just to the buff horse with arms.
Oh, okay. Oh god, that's definitely going on my Tumblr page. Jesus Christ. Fuck
Some of these
me.
things are the weirdest things you'll ever see.
Yeah, Sugar's the official Cryptocast meme.
I will create Sugar.
Sugar.
I will make this a thing.
Okay, now I'll never be able to listen to that Maroon 5 song the same ever again. Sugar, yes please. Fucking hell, I won't be able to listen. I hate that song anyway, it's all good.
Do you need to wrap it up now?
I might. It's... Because let me see.
If you ever want to do this again and just bullshit around and make fun of the dumbest cryptids ever, I'd love to join.
Actually, yeah, that sounds like a good topic for a stream. How about in 2 weeks we can... Because I do have a stream planned for next week, so... The week after that...
Yeah, I'm probably free then.
Yeah, the stream after... So yeah, in 2 weeks, I'll have you come back on Friday, and we can just look up some weird, funny cryptids if you want.
One of these is just literally a barracuda with an island on its head.
Ooh, have I thought about streaming on Twitch? I'd like to. I really would. I just don't know how to set up Twitch. If anybody kind of wants to help me possibly set something up on there, I'd appreciate it, because I've considered it. I've just never gotten around to it, really, so I'll definitely... I'm considering it. Wait. It's a... So, yeah, I'll definitely do that. So, yeah, I'm probably gonna... Let me see. So, I'm gonna wrap it up here. So, in 2 weeks, I will... What the fuck is that thing? I don't know if I can show that on YouTube. That thing literally has like a ball sack coming off of its face.
That's its bladder.
That looks like a Dr. Seuss. That looks like if Dr. Seuss entered the fucking nightmare dimension.
Dude, it's full of boiling water that it then shoots in your face.
Jesus, that thing's... What? That thing's gonna visit me in my nightmares.
Oh, this is just funny, just screwing with you with these things.
Oh, God. Like that one day when you described a cryptid so well, and it was Will Smith as a genie from Aladdin.
Oh yeah, that was fun. That was bloody brilliant.
What the fuck is this one?
Hey look, I found its brother.
What is that thing? Oh my god. Why does Dr. Seuss visit the fucking nightmare dimension?
It's H.P. Lovecraft meets Dr. Seuss.
Oh my god. Alright, so, we'll do more of this then next week. I mean, in 2 weeks, actually. We'll talk more about random-ass funny cryptids, so we'll do that. It'll vape in your face. So, I'll probably wrap it up here, so... Thank you for coming on. It was fun.
Yeah, good night, man.
Good night. We'll definitely do this in 2 weeks in Funny Cryptids.
Hey, how are your editing skills? I could draw like a picture for the beginning of it.
I can probably do that, yeah. I can probably edit it in somehow. I'll definitely do that. Or have somebody help me with that. I'll either have somebody...
Pokemon were on meth.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Alright. That was great.
Well, bye, man.
Alright, good night. It was fun. Alright, so thank you to everybody who came out for the stream tonight. This was an extra long stream. It was awesome. So, we kind of had a religious episode here in the beginning, which is fine. We kind of have to have those every once in a while. But here at Cryptocast, we really, what it doesn't matter what religion you are. We support you regardless of what religion you are. Your religious values are really important here to us. So, and it was kind of cool being able to talk to somebody with a religious viewpoint. This was like, I haven't really done a lot of interviews before, so this was actually kind of really interesting to see that. But everybody here, we really support you guys, whatever religion you are, whatever makes you happy. So no hate here from us at all whatsoever. So and then we talked about weird cryptids and other people's experiences. So this stream was kind of all over the place, which I apologize for. But regardless, I hope you guys enjoyed my stream. And next week I have a stream planned. I was thinking maybe Shadow People. I'm thinking maybe Shadow People are another one of the ones my friend suggested. So I'll be doing something along those lines, I believe. So maybe I could do a Lovecraft episode sometime. I'll figure it out, but I do have something planned for next week. I'll definitely do it'll be something fun. It'll be something fun. The week after that, I'll have Reaper back on. We'll talk more about weird cryptids for you guys. And with that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning in to Cryptocast. If you like the video, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. You can dislike it if you dislike it, like it if you like it. I heard if you dislike it, that horse creature will literally pick you up by its giant forearms and toss you into a mud pit. So if you don't want to get tossed into a mud pit by a super jacked horse, be sure to like this video. And if you're new, be sure to subscribe, become a member of the Cryptocast today. The Crypto Crew. Also, comment below. Let me know if any of you guys want me. What if you want to get thrown in a ditch? Jesus. Oh my god. That's a mood right there. That's a mood. So tomorrow, we are going to... Well, not tomorrow. So, yeah, be sure to check my other videos out. I did Jeff the Talking Mongoose yesterday, a little cryptid review, so be sure to check that out. Comment below, guys, or contact me on my social media below of other topics you want me to cover and other things you want me to do for this channel. I'd really appreciate it, guys. So that being said, guys, this stream was all over the place today. I'm sorry. But it was fun talking to